after criticism, reading the genocide dossier, it's time to our duties, our obligations as human beings. Just a little more, a couple of minutes more. Al Jazeera, not the faster. Or maybe I have some malwares on my cell phone. Anyway, Israeli attacks kill at least 29 across Gaza today, most in Gaza City. There's a video, and a streaming. Watch Al Jazeera English TV, live news, and counter affairs. Medical sources tell Al Jazeera that at least 21 people were killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza City in the North Strip. By Usaid Siddiqui, Federica Marci, April 17, 2025, 18 hours ago. First, medical sources tell Al Jazeera that at least 29 people have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since dawn this morning. 21 of that number being killed in Gaza City. Second, a 20-year-old man was died in an Israeli prison as Palestinians mark Prisoners' Day with marches across the occupied West Bank and East Jerusalem. The United Nations said an estimated 500,000 people have been, quote, newly displaced or uprooted once more, end quote, in Gaza since Israel broke the ceasefire with Hamas on March 18. Third, Gaza Health Ministry says at least 51,065 Palestinians have been confirmed dead and 116,505 wounded in Israel's war on Gaza since it began 18 months ago, almost 2 years now. And finally, the Gaza government media office updated its death toll to more than 61,700, saying thousands of people missing under the rubble are presumed dead. At least 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the Hamas-led October 7, 2023 attacks, and more than 200 were taken captive 7 minutes ago. There will be a new live update anytime, but by now, 7 minutes ago, Palestinian wounded in settler attack on Masafer Yatta. A Palestinian has been wounded when a group of Israeli settlers opened fire in Kirbet al-Rakes in the Masafer Yatta area in the occupied West Bank. Local Palestinians news outlets posted videos of the aftermath of the attack in which the victim can be seen lying on the ground. Reports say Israeli settlers attacked farmers in the area under the protection of Israeli forces. Settler violence and the Israeli demolitions of Palestinian homes in Masafer Yatta have been the object of the Oscar-winning documentary No Other Land. And 22 minutes ago, 4 Palestinians killed in Jabalia. And these 4 Palestinians have been killed and many wounded when Israel bombed a home in Jabalia, northern Gaza. In a separate incident, 1 person was killed by Israeli gunfire in the Kisan Raswan area, south of Khan Yunis in the south. And also April 17, today, all this is April 17, 37 minutes ago. says UN reported Gaza's healthcare system, quote unquote, decimated. The UN Special Rapporteur on the right to health has condemned a recent Israeli airstrike on the northern Gaza hospital, calling it a devastating blow to an already collapsed health system. And quote, I am horrified to learn that the war on hospitals, healthcare providers, and civilians continues making the provisions of health services even more impossible in a system that has already been brought to its knees. End quote. Tlaleng Mofoken said in a statement, Al-Hali Hospital was struck by 2 Israeli missiles on April 13. The attacks severely damaged the emergency rooms, surgical operations unit, and the medical oxygen production station, effectively rendering the hospital inoperable, and an injured child also died of her wounds. With this latest attack on the health system, the options for healthcare, especially emergency care for the people of Gaza, are reduced to zero, and Israel continues to operate with impunity. Mofoken said, quote, the healthcare system has been decimated. There's a photo of destruction. The subtitle says, a grenade lies amid the debris in the aftermath of an Israeli strike on the Al-Hali hospital. April 17, 1 hour ago, finally. One kill in Israeli airstrike on southern Lebanon. A reminder that Israeli strikes have continued on Lebanon as well. On Thursday, an Israeli airstrike killed 1 person in the country's south. Lebanon's health ministry said, quote, the raid carried out by the Israeli enemy on the locality of Aitarum left 1 dead, end quote. A day after Israeli strikes in the same region killed 2 people. The Israeli army claimed the person killed was a Hezbollah member. Despite the November 27 ceasefire that sought to halt more than a year of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, Israel has continued to carry out near daily strikes in Lebanon. And this maybe 1 or 2 more 1 hour ago also. UNRWA warns critical supplies in Gaza depleting. UNRWA says approximately 69% of Gaza is, quote, within no-go areas, under active displacement orders, or both, end quote, as Israel's blockading of aid since March 2 was hampering relief efforts. Quote, this is 3 times longer than the siege the Israeli authorities imposed in October 2023 when the war started. UNRWA said in their latest situation report on the war-ravaged coastal enclave, quote, as a result, critical humanitarian supplies, including food, fuel, medical aid, and vaccines for children, are rapidly depleting. And that's it. Maybe I'm going to read the very, very last one. That says, 1 hour ago, members of leading UK Jewish group condemned Israel's resumption of Gaza war. 36 members of the Board of Deputies of British Jews, one of the largest organizations representing Jewish people in the UK, have voiced their opposition to the Israeli government's renewed military campaign in Gaza. The signatories criticized the Israeli government's decision to resume war in Gaza, adding that since then, quote, no hostages have returned, end quote, while, quote, hundreds and hundreds more Palestinians have been killed. Yeah, this is a genocide. Hundreds have been killed. Quote, our Jewish values compel us to stand up and to speak out, end quote. The letter published in the Financial Times read, quote, we are back in a brutal war where the killing of 15 paramedics and their burial in a mass grave is again possible and risks being normal. And that was the end of Palestine, huh? The worst military campaign in history, I guess. And who knows? Well, we are all, as I always say, this is my statement about this conflict, about Israel itself. We are all supporting Israel by paying our bills in the West. Yeah, we cannot stop paying our bills. I was considering to buy a solar panel, but maybe tomorrow I will try to stop paying bills to the West, to the SWIFT system.